Hey guys, this is Jamie. Today I want to talk about something that I guess that infuriates us all, which is influencers, but specifically I wanted to go into certain things like branding and sort of the obsession with certain brands, and obviously when it comes to like big names, like specifically in makeup, like people want Prada makeup, like Louis Vuitton makeup, which is was recently released. People go for Dior makeup, Chanel, and there's nothing wrong with sort of, I guess, wanting like a Chanel lipstick because I have one and they feel nice, but it's not something that I would splurge on constantly. And at the end of the day, it's not something that I feel is worth it on the long run. But regardless of what I feel like I have to speak about certain things. Like, for instance, the Prada lip balm, which, if you've seen like the Prada banana lip balm, which is looks yellow and apparently it doesn't really smell like bananas. It's supposed to be a banana flavored. It doesn't smell like bananas apparently. It doesn't have the yellow sheen properly. So from what I understand, even in the photos, sort of the swatches are more yellow than it actually is. And then that got me thinking into this whole idea that why are we even overpaying for something like a lip balm, you know? So the Prada lip balm, from what I understand, is around like 45 up to 50 euros, which is, I'm guessing, a bit over 50 USD if to convert, from the prices that we have here. And sure, I am absolutely at fault because I really enjoy sometimes spending a heftier amount for a nicer products, for a nicer formula, but I still feel like certain things like paying for a lip balm which looks just like Vaseline or it doesn't necessarily have the sort of look that you'd pay 50 for ends up being a scam actually. So I was really thinking about it, and I guess for a quick analogy, it reminds me of the story, the whole sort of fable of the Emperor's New Clothes, which basically the Emperor wants some fancy attire, and then he gets told that he can wear this invisible outfit, which is nothing, and then he ends up going to the streets naked, thinking that, he spends a pretty penny on something that is gonna make everyone be wooed by it. And this is how it feels like. So these people, these influencers, buy this lip balm costing more than 50 or up to 50 euros and think, well, everyone's gonna see that the lip balm costs that much. And while I do understand that there are certain makeup products, there are certain beauty products which will look better, they will perform better. But if it's just a lip balm which has the same effects as Vaseline, it's not gonna be worth it. And specifically, if we're looking at something like with a yellow tint or sheen look, sheer look, like there are like a Spanish brand like which is pronounced like Mina, which has like a yellow oil, and every time I swatch it, I'm like, no one's gonna notice the sheen, and I'm like, I don't want to spend like 20 euros for this. But obviously, I still think like, oh, it's a bit scenty, it's like a lip oil and etc. But I still feel like it's different if you go for something which does actually have a yellow tint versus something that does not actually have anything other than some, sparkle. And the problem is that this goes not only with makeup, but this goes into like clothing as well. And one of the sort of issues that I have with a bunch of clothing is that in the end of the day, with a lot of brands, you end up paying overpriced for like a plain white shirt or a plain black shirt. And this is where I feel like my own stance on fashion, my own stance on beauty differs from other people's. I feel like if I'm paying for something basic, I will not be overpaying if I can find it in the same quality or more or less by another brand. Like I want to be paying either for the texture, and the texture meaning that people will see the texture at different cuts, with makeup as well. Like for instance, I overpay for like the Permagraph motherships, and I really love them. And I have palettes which I've had for like 5 years or something like that, and they still apply just as great. And I have like two motherships right now, and I've been using them like nonstop. So to me, that is sort of worth the price. But if you're gonna buy something, sure, like if you wear it every day, sure. But I just feel like we need to stop, in my opinion, as people who are into fashion or into makeup, and think like, why are you paying for an eyeliner or like a lip balm, which is not probably gonna last the whole day, and you have the same equivalence? And it's not even in the concept of a dupe, because you can have an innovative product, and it most likely won't be dupes. But if it's something basic and which people have created on and on and on, and there is a reliable formula, there's no point in overpaying for it. And in general, I really don't understand this idea of degradation for beauty or for makeup. Like, I'm really probably the last person who you'll see going into an Hermes store or whatever and try to degrade myself to get a Birkin. Like, if I'd want a Birkin hypothetically that badly, I just buy it from a reseller or I'd buy it from eBay or whatever. I just cannot fathom the idea of going to a center, to a store, and being like, yeah, I want this bag, and be happy when someone's selling me other things so that I can buy another thing. Like, as much as I enjoy sort of in-store experiences and going and seeing the item, it kind of loses its purpose if the commodity is taken away from me and I have to degrade myself. Like, we already suffer for so many social interactions through our lives that I would not want to put myself for another one just to get an item that I can get elsewhere to a certain capacity. So that's kind of what I don't understand. And then even going back to sort of the plain shirts, um, I also don't understand sort of this idea of how an average influencer looks or how the beauty goes as well. I feel like we as human beings should be different from one another or should be at least recognizable. But when I want to see like swatches of something and I see that everyone wears the same tight white top, like baggy jeans, um, transparent balm, um, mascara, or lash extensions, and the same roughly haircut, I can't differentiate from one person from another. And I understand that if you might be interested in looking like that, or that is how you feel you want to look like, but if you're claiming yourself to be like an influencer or someone who's fashion forward or who has a fashion style or who's a beauty guru or knowledgeable, you need to be showing something that other people don't have. And if you're just swiping balm or just wearing a white tube top with jeans, which everyone else is doing, you're not really influencing. You're just the opposite. You're the influenced one, you know? You're the one following other trends. And I do understand that obviously times are rough and people want to get a paycheck, but it's not about a paycheck, it's about people just thinking that by doing the same thing, they can stand out. And that's kind of not the case. So, yeah. But yeah, I do understand that I'm quite critical when it comes to clothing, when it comes to makeup, when it comes to sort of these things, haircuts, obviously. Um, I just really feel like there is no need to overpay for something that can be bought in the same quality more or less for a way less price. Like, of course, if you're gonna be paying, I don't know, for Vivienne Westwood blazer back like when she was alive, of course you're gonna overpay for that. But if it's a plain white shirt with nothing sort of redeeming for it or which stands out, you might as well just go to your Zara and just buy a pack of them, or order from ASOS. So that's what I kind of don't understand. And I do understand that my concept of fashion is very different. And I do enjoy sort of like graphics on shirts, different cuts, and everything. But I do feel like if you're claiming to be something, you need to be passionate about it and have something that makes it stand out. And I feel like if you're just gonna be wearing the same things and then you're just gonna face tune yourself into oblivion, what's the point? Yeah, be yourself. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. So yeah, I hate the current makeup trends. I hate fashion and like if I'm just criticizing like sort of those who go like for girly influencers or for sort of that beauty vibe. I'm not that fond of the male spaces either because everyone just looks like a Twinkie James Charles, so it's not even better. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say, what I wanted to vent about, and sorry if this ended up being way too venty. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've had a long day, so I'm quite tired and I want to play on my Switch. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate all the love I've been getting. I'm very happy about it. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to send this video to someone to piss them off. I always enjoy pissing off people. And feel free to leave a like. Thank you very much for watching.